Hello, today we have been in Angola for a couple of days now, and what I have seen is that Cambina, which is part of Angola, is the 17th or 26th province of Angola. Cambina is actually a strip of land disconnected from the mainland of Angola by the panhandle of Zaire, or what was once the Belgian Congo. Now, Leopold II wanted one to reach to the ocean, and that is what he precisely got. Now, Cambina is separated from the mainland, but is still fully Marxist, and its ideals of Marxism is in this tiny strip of land belonging to one giant strip of land in Angola. Luanda, the capital, is under fire today as well, with the guerrillas of UNITA and South Africa trying to vie for power, while the Cambinians, the South Africans, and UNITA are all in, well, Cambina as well, traveling across the border to get back into their country. Now, with a special nightly news update, we're going to bring you live from Cambina, and we're going to tell you all the things that are in Cambina right now. So, the year is 1985. This has been a special report. We have now got back from Cambina, and we will roll the tapes in the studio and play them off as well. Now, without further ado, before we start, things may be graphic to viewers and things may be unsettling to viewers. So if you do not like it, turn away right now. But without further ado, this has been Cambina inside the heart of Marxist Angola, where Cubans, unironically, defend billions of dollars of oil from U.S. companies, from the U.S.-funded guerrillas and anti-Marxist bands in Cambina, South Africa, and UNITA, and the FNLA, but nobody cares about them anymore. Enjoy. 1986, I believe, Angola, Cambina. Only orange flames burn from Chevron's offshore wells here, and a Cuban officer watching from a distance is allowed to trace a smile from across his face. We never thought we would be protecting American interests, the officer, Major Alberto Garcia Mestres, said on his first internationalist duty. As commander of the crack unit of tropical troops, Major Garcia arrived here in March to bolster the defense of Chevron's $1.3 billion investment in Cambina, a 2,800 square enclave cut off from the Angolan mainland by Zaire. The complex, which Major Garcia scans every day with his field glasses, but has never visited, includes 200 offshore wells that pump 190,000 barrels a day, providing about 60% of exchange for the Angolan Marxist foreign exchange and economy. Major Garcia's unit, part of a 30,000-man Cuban expeditionary force in Angola, patrols the perimeter of the complex day and night, seeking to intercept commandos sent by their three enemies and by any of their three enemies: South Africa, a separatist movement seeking independence in Cambina, and the Union for the Total Independence of Angola, or UNITA, an anti-government force that is armed by South Africa and the United States. 180 American workers, oh my. All three groups have vowed to sabotage the oil complex, which is called the Malago, and which is run by Chevron's local subsidiary, Cambina Gulf. The Cubans, interviewed at one of the several bases they have maintained here, said that they came in March in response to the stepped-up threats against the complex, where 180 American workers work. By a vat within the site of the oil wells and tank farms, the Cubans cut trees from the surrounding hills and used the timber to reinforce underground bunkers for jeeps, dormitories, cafeterias, classrooms, and even gun emplacements. Together with our Angolan comrades, we are confident that we can assure the safety of Malago, said Captain Pedro Vazel Alfonso, a Ramrod Strait graduate of Cuban, Polish, and Soviet military academies. There is no working link with the Americans, though. Despite this confidence, there is a new edginess about the security of Angola's oil-rich North Province. 3 weeks ago, a bomb that UNITA said that it planted caused widespread destruction at Cambina's air terminal, where American journalists took photographs Friday of the shredded concrete, twisted steel, and blown-out windows. They were detained for 3 hours and given a military escort for the duration of their stay. Other attacks reported. Independent interviews with the Cambinans were impossible during the trip, but according to diplomats and businessmen in Luanda, Angola's capital, other attacks have taken place in Cambina this year. In March, Angolan troops exchanged shots with unknown intruders near the Malago perimeter. In April, electric and water services were sabotaged. In June, a day-long shootout took place in the city of Cambina after guerrillas, reportedly from UNITA, launched a rocket and rifle attack against the officers and the officials and the offices of the provincial commissar. We had a delegation visiting Malago today, a Western diplomat recalls. They had to go there from the airport by helicopter. The most serious attack was attempted in mid-1985 by the South African Commando Unit. According to the unit's commander, Captain Juanot de Tohit, who was captured, the aim was to destroy the old tanks of Chevron. Shuttled that night to Malago's coast in inflatable rubber boats from a South African Navy vessel and anchored offshore, Captain Dutrout's 9-man team carried overalls with the Cambinan Gulf logo and mines. 2 for each oil tank and more to destroy the water pipe supplies of the Malago fire hydrants. 2 soldiers killed. Before they could accomplish their mission, Captain Dutrout recounted that they were discovered by Angolan Army Patrol. 2 South African soldiers were killed. In response to this attack, the Angolan government has tightened security, clearing and illuminating Malago's perimeter and asking the Cubans to provide more defense. Also, seeking to diffuse the latent separatist sentiments in the north, Angola's government decided last year to devote 1% of its oil revenue from Cambina to develop and for the development of the province. Cambodians, who now make do with the rotted dirt roads and tin-roof wooden shanties, would have made a per capita income last year of $25,000 if independent. Houston accents are heard in Malago. At Malago, Angolans' tango politics are left at the gate, after a final propaganda poster announcing, "The party is the triumph of the people in the revolution." The scene quickly fades into landscape lawns, a 9-hole golf course, and the Houston accents of Malago. "There's a lot of oil out here," Malago's operating manager Tom Willoughby said, tapping a map of Chevron's offshore concessions with the pointer improvised from a golf putter. "We are running an oil field with Senegal, Angola's oil company. The politics we stay out of." Mr. Willoughby is a New Orleans native and said, "This year, conservative groups in the United States have sought to persuade Chevron to pull out of Angola, arguing that the oil company helps finance a Marxist government." T.J. Demir, a drilling engineer from Baton Rouge, LA, seems to echo the attitudes of most American workers and Americans working here, when he said, "How can someone be so naive to believe that if Chevron leaves this oil field, it would just shut down? Another foreign company would step in and the U.S. would lose that income." Despite this marriage of convenience between the American oilmen and the Cuban protectors, the two groups said that they have never met, not even on the baseball diamond, for one round of good old American baseball. The Americans say that they play amongst themselves in the Malago fields. The Cubans say that they play with each other and other Cuban teams, largely fielded from a contingent of 300 Cuban civilians who are cutting timber in the Mayabe rainforest in Cambina. Yo, there, go along. I got this pitch, man. And that has been the weekly news downdate here with your host, ES. I hope you enjoyed, and now back to the studio. This has been Dateline ENN or EMBC, and I'll see you next time in the jungles of Africa. This is me signing out. 1986. Enjoy. And most importantly, learn something. Back to you in the studio, Ron.